Hello, my name is Reverend Christopher Ableto, and today I've come to meet my brother. His name is Mr. Gabriel Ishmael Jallo, and he's someone who has a Muslim background. He's a Christian who converted from the Islamic background, and we have joined his podcast. There are issues that are trending on social media platforms and on media house platforms concerning the Israel and then the Palestinian war. Okay, and a lot has been said, opinions has been shared, and we are here to set the record straight. We are on the podcast, on the show, Set the Record Straight. So we are here to set the record straight with Ishmael Jallo. Ishmael Jallo.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it is a pleasure to see you here. You have invaded Out of the Box podcast to come in for us to deliberate in these very, very stubborn issues that have perverted societies. It has caused many, many trouble in humanity. Wow. So all we have to do, we are bringing our perspective in what we understand about these issues in the Middle East.
Exactly. So that is why it is very important to share this discussion with you.
Yeah, sure.
I know that basically our viewers are going to be educated. So join the conversation, share your opinion, don't be left out. Whatever you think of what we are making over here, share it, go to the comment section and make your voice heard. So,
and don't forget, he's a pastor. He has a congregation, he meets with people, he has been going through this on social media platforms at the churches. Then we also have, every weekend we have a platform where we educate people. So he said, but this one will be necessary for him to come to the Setting the Record Straight of Out of the Box podcast. Yes,
so it's amazing. It's amazing. And so we want to quickly jump into our discussion without wasting much time.
Okay.
And we want to look at it from the first point of view. I want to ask a question that I want you to dive into for our viewers and our listeners, those who are following us to learn something from as far as your perspective is concerned.
Yeah.
So we want to ask that, is the Middle East crisis born out of religion? What is happening in the Middle East now between Israel and Palestine? What can you say about it? Is it born out of religion?
Actually, the issue in the Middle East is not primarily a religious issue.
Okay.
Even though it has a religious connotation. Okay. Because if I say the issue in the Middle East is a very wide and a very broad spectrum in global geopolitics. Okay. In the Middle East, I think you have 18 countries. Out of the 18 countries, 13 are Arabs. Okay. You have Kurdish people, you have Turkish, you have Persians, you have Yazidis, then you have Jews. All of them are in the Middle East. And but the crisis in the Middle East, people have decided to deliberately paint it with a religious connotation. Okay. Now, I ask myself, if you say it's a religious war, is it that Christians are fighting Muslims? Is it that Muslims are fighting Jews? Is it that Jews are fighting Yazidis? Is it that Yazidis are fighting Hindus? So if we look at it, I will not see it primarily as a religious conflict. I will see it as a conflict where people are there to project their egos. Okay. People are there to stretch their muscle and manifest fears of influence. It's all the Middle East conflict. It's also a proxy war for Western nations who support various countries and the groups in the Middle East. Is also a proxy war for even within them the Muslim, within them the Arabs, for them to support various conflicts. That is why the Middle East has become the hottest bed of conflicts in the world geopolitics. So primarily, in my answer is that the Middle East conflict is not a religious conflict. It's a conflict of expanding frontiers. People capture lands. More people decided to get more territories. People decided to humiliate one set of people and bring another set of people above another set of people. It's a whole mixed bag. Alliances and allies. It's a major mixed bag that cannot be only tied to a religious conflict.
Okay, so by so saying, are the Israelites a special people chosen by God over other people or other nations?
I am troubled whenever I see people always attach value to the Israelites as opposed to other people. It makes God look like a partial father. Okay. Because how can a God who created 8 billion people or more, okay, which God is that will create 8 billion and choose only 8 million or 10 millions? Okay. So I don't think, it pains me at times when I read that, and that's have to do with misunderstanding of biblical scriptures. Okay. Because if you say the children of Israel are chosen by God, then what about those who are not Israelites? Are they not chosen by God? Are they chosen by Satan? Are they not created by God? Because me, first of all, what I know about the God that I serve, in Genesis chapter 1, okay, from verse 1 to 3, okay, God, and most of the people that are bringing this Israel and they are chosen by God over other people, they use Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 3. Okay. And that verse was a promise God gave to Abraham. Okay. And Abraham was not a Jew. He was neither a Jew. He was not an Arab. Abraham was born in Ur. Ur today is Basra, southern Iraq. Just that Abraham adhered to God's promises. And we all need to know that Abraham, it is by faith that I'm a Sierra Leonean. I subscribe to Abraham. So Abraham has been the symbol of monotheistic religion. That means Muslim, Christians, and Judaism. All of us tied our faith to the God of Abraham. So, but Abraham actually is not a Muslim. Abraham was not a Jew. Abraham was not a Christian. So we tie to that God of Abraham by the reality, by scriptures that we absorb, we have accepted. So if Abraham, all of us derived from Abraham, how can now somebody say one set of people that hail from Abraham are God's choosing people? Because in that Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 3, God was only responding to Abraham's faith. How Abraham's obedience. Okay. So in that obedience of Abraham, God said, I will bless those who bless you. I will bless those who curse you. Then from you, I'll curse those who curse you. Okay. Then from you, that's where I'll get the descendants of the world. Everybody of the world will be tied to Abraham. So do you see? So when you look at that Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 3, it has nothing to do with the state of Israel. Then number 2, in Acts, as a Christian, in Acts chapter 10, verse 34, okay, a Jew who headed the apostle of Jesus, okay, Peter, he was approached by a European, Colinius. Colinius wanted to bow to Peter. Peter said no. He said, God see all of us as equal. Then Paul's letter in Galatians 3:28, he settles the matter. So my position as a Christian, I don't see anybody superior to anybody. Okay. I believe that as long as we are created by God, okay, that covenant that the children of Israel has with God, I have no problem with that covenant that they had with God in their wilderness journey. Okay. That should not make us think today that they are superior or they are God's choosing people like any other person. Because the crisis that is in the Middle East is not different from the war that was fought in Liberia. It's not different than the war that was fought in Rwanda. It's not different than the war that was fought in the Koreas. It's not different than the war that was fought in La Côte d'Ivoire. All those who died in those wars, they are created by God. They are not inferior or superior to the Jews. Okay. So I don't see any relationship to any philosophy or theology that will make me think that a certain set of people are superior to other people. I don't believe that as a Christian, and my gospel, my epistle, all all what makes me a Christian does not support that at all.
Okay. All right. So, in so saying, I would like to inquire again from you. It says that is what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening right now, the war between the Palestine, which we are discussing, is God the one at the center of influence for what is happening? Will you say so?
No, it cannot be God.
Okay.
Because the war, the Palestinian and Israeli conflicts, people are looking at it only now as the Palestinian and Israeli conflicts. Okay. That conflict was where you have the 6 days war. Israel has fought with Lebanon. They have fought with Egypt, Syria, Palestine, even now recently Iran. So it's like tying it to the Palestinian conflict. It makes it look like it is just Israel and Palestine. Okay. It's a conflict that has, I don't know, if I have my 2 beautiful daughters, what will I gain to influence them to be fighting? That in the morning my daughter and her sister will go, I'll influence them to go and fight and come with blood. I'll influence them to go and fight and broke my house, broke the glasses. Okay. Which God is that? So when people are saying that it is God, and this evangelical that are saying that it is because the Antichrist will have to come, and the temple needs to be rebuilt, and because of the timeliness, the timeline of the Antichrist is why God is permitting that conflict. That is a superficial theology that makes no sense at all. Because one thing I know, anytime they said a choosing person of God, is one thing that I'm looking at, the breath of life. It's the breath of life. That's when they say these are God's children. The only thing that makes you the child of God is his breath. The breath that God gives a Chinese man is what makes him a human being. It's the breath of what God gives an African is what makes him a human being. That breath has no color. That breath has no shape. That breath has no looks. What God does, he puts the breath in our nostril and we become a human being. What God looks at is that breath that takes us up and down. So there is no way anybody can tell me that this same God who created this world, he is the one that sits in heaven, then he's fomenting crisis for the world. It's not true at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on this note, we are going to go for a quick break.
Okay.
We are going to go for a quick break. Don't forget that you are still watching Out of the Box podcast, and this is setting the record straight.
Yes, we are setting the record
straight. Being set straight.
Yes.
We'll be right back. You and I are aware that we cannot talk about curriculum when we don't talk about formal education.
We have the know-how and we have all what is required to run our institution. All the doctors here are better than those in UK. So it's not where you go. Many people have run from here and they have entered into Europe and they have regretted with their life. Yeah, that is the truth. So you also are complicit in stealing African money. The billions of dollars that our leaders are taking to replace send it back. Also Western leaders, when African leaders want to bring their people for treatment abroad, stop them so that they will give us better hospitals in Africa. Monies, you are benefiting from African billions. You are telling us we are poor. You are joining our African leader to take our monies and keep it in your bank. We are not living on trees again. So the people who stayed to build, I think the future is for us.
Okay.
Because everywhere the economy has grown to a certain level that if only you have the courage to start something, it will grow. Because now social media is there, you can do everything, you can do something here and sell to the whole world. So it's not where you go. Many people have run from here and they have entered into Europe and they have regretted with their life. Yeah, that is the truth.
Sure.
Barbarians, I have never in my life seen an African school where a student was given a gun for his protection. He is not protecting himself, he's shooting at the teacher that comes to teach him. Those are not bad systems. What they told us that when you see a colleague, don't speak Tree, speak English. Do you understand?
Okay.
And from the beginning, I thought, this man, why is he going to treat us like that? But gradually, we all understood what he was saying, And we kept the Punisher, they do it. But that was where I got my foundation right. The curriculum of the African continent produced Brutus Ghali, who was the United Nations Secretary General from Egypt. The African curriculum produced Kofi Annan from Ghana. Kofi Annan from Ghana won the Nobel Peace Prize. The African curriculum produced Professor Wole Soyinka from Nigeria, who was a Nobel laureate. The African curriculum produced Madame Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from Liberia, who won a Nobel Peace Prize. The African curriculum produced James Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
This is the Economical Insight. Think you've got sharp economic takes? Join the Economical Insight as a debate pundit. Fresh voices, real conversations. Do contact us now on 020-513-5253.
And you sit there and say, if Africa was having one USA, Africa would have done well. I can tell you without any fear of contradiction, you will have seen worse.
And we feed them with oil in people's sweat. Why would you feed somebody in sweat and you think your children will be better?
So we are now saying the people are exploiting us. How are they exploiting us? Are they tying us?
Democracy is not good for Africa. Democracy is not good for Africa because that is where the exploitation comes from. About leadership, many times only look at the politician who many a time we point finger at. But those managers,
Check Ghana today. The Ghana banking system is in the hands of Nigerians. Those money are given to Nigeria, Ghanaian politicians at the expense of the people.
That's what I'm saying. All these politicians that are crying on radio, they are the one who sponsor the people.
Nigeria is using one currency, one president. I didn't know. I can never be sit there and say, if Africa was having one USA, what's different does it mean? Up to now, since they drove France, nobody knows how much contract they signed with Russia. The Russians have special forces in those countries. So I was asking, what is Tarawari and Abdurrahman Cham and this guy in Mali, what are they telling us? You are driving France, you are bringing Putin, and Putin come and give you some drone. We don't even know how much.
It is not the country that we have it at heart. It's because of our party.
Blackmail people.
Not because of our party, their parties. Because, okay, Ronaldo is doing this. They say, okay, it's not correct. They will find fault, whatever it is. So when they also come to power, they also have to heckle the other person when he's even doing right, that they know it is right.
Yeah.
Doing well, not because you cannot do it. It's because they are coming with a facility that loan facility that is soft and helping them to do well.
The Western companies have never ever exploited Africa. It is our politicians that have sold us to this company and keep the money in Western Bank.
Well, you are welcome, our viewers, to Out of the Box podcast. We are still setting the record straight.
Setting the record straight.
Very brother, Gabriel Ishmael Jallo.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are going to go back to our discussion quickly. And so, Mr. Gabriel, what can you say about this? What do you make out of the conflict that is between the Palestinians and the Israelis?
I think the conflicts between the Palestinians and the Israelis is a conflict that have to do with, as I said in my opening, it has to do with egos, spheres of influence, land grabbing, and proxy wars. Because the two states, Palestine, the state of Palestine and the state of Israel, were born out of a United Nations resolution. That's why I feel pain when people want to take the state of Israel and link it to the kingdom of Israel. Man of God, they are not the same. The kingdom of Israel runs from 1050 and ended in 939. That's the kingdom of Israel. There were two kingdoms there. BC. BC.
Okay.
Then you get the kingdom of Judah runs from 939 to 586.
Okay.
That was when the children of Israel their system was run on a theocracy. And that theocracy means like God is the head of states.
Okay.
Moses, the prophet, is like the prime minister.
Okay.
The priests, the judges, and all those people were the kings. They were the patriarch. They were running a theocracy where God was the head of states. So that's the children of Israel, where you see Joshua was fighting. God have to hold the sun for them. God has to split the Red Sea for them. So Samson has to use the power that God gave him to kill Philistines, and all what you read in the Bible, how they call him the bringing down of the walls of Jericho. All this battle was fought. God fought those battles for the children of Israel, because the children of Israel in the Old Testament, they were running on a theocracy where God was like their president.
Okay.
But the state of Israel was established on a resolution from the United Nations.
Okay.
This resolution is called Resolution 181. It was adopted on the 27th of November 1947. And the state of Israel was established 1948.
Okay.
You see, it's out of a resolution. Then the state of Palestine was established on the resolution 3236, 1974. 147 out of the 193 countries adopted and supported the state of Palestine. And that resolution, two of them there should be two states, where you have the Arab state, you have the Jew state. Okay. This has nothing to do with Bible. Okay. It has nothing to do with Quran. That's why I have all my time in Islam. Okay. I have never had any Muslim quote the Quran to confirm the state of Palestine, because it's not a religious, it has nothing to do with scriptures. It has everything to do with a United Nations resolution. When that resolution was adopted for Israel, okay, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, there are states that even rejected it. Okay. So we need to first of all understand that the state or the battle that is taking place there, it's not a battle against the God's children and as opposed to Satan's children. It's a resolution that was passed by the United Nations. All of us accepted that the two of them should have there will be two-state solution, wherein Palestine, they have East Jerusalem, Ramallah, Gaza Strip, West Bank. This is what they call Palestine. Okay. And this Palestine is where it's even where Jesus Christ was born. That's where you have the Church of Nativity. Okay. So and in Palestine, there are more Christians in Palestine than Christians in Israel. So when we mix the thing, it makes it look like enemies of God have surrounded the children of Israel, who are God's children, and they are fighting them. So that is how it looks like. So there is no, we have to erase. Please, viewers, if you are watching this podcast, I want you to know that the state of Israel and the state of Palestine, they were out of United Nations General Assembly resolution that even Liberia, Ethiopia, they voted for it. Egypt voted against it. Even Liberia is one of the members, because Liberia was a member of the League of Nations that became the United Nations. Okay. So the state of Palestine has nothing to do with God. The state of Israel and Palestine has nothing to do with God at all.
Okay.
At all.
So by so saying, by implication, and by what you have given our viewers now,
yeah,
you see, to say that the war is out of ego, out of alliance, out
of ego, out of spheres of influence, okay, out of land grabbing, out of politics, okay, out of flexing muscle, because the God that I serve has no business in sitting in heaven, fold his hand, and allow his people to be bombing themselves. Which God is that?
Okay.
How can anybody think like that?
So by implication, why does it seem that some Muslim countries are not supporting the Palestinians?
You see, that is even where we are coming to tell you that this is not a religious war. On the 22nd, okay, on the 22nd of March 1928, okay, there's a man called Hassan al-Banna. They form something that they call the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay. Let me show you the genesis, where the Arabs are not supporting the Palestinians. Then on the 25th, this is my record, on the 25th of September 1969, the Organization of Islamic Country was born. The name of it in Arab is Munazat al-Ta'al al-Islam. Yes, so they form it, and then you have the Arab League. Then the Arab League was born in 1948. They gave birth to the Arab League. So you said Arab have all this alliance. Still, the Palestinians are going through what they are going through. And when the Arab League was formed, as soon as they formed the Arab League, it started with 7 Arab countries. Today, the Arab League has 22 countries. And the objective of the formation of the Arab League is to defend the Arabs. You have now, you look at these questions. Why is it that 22 Arab nations surrounded Palestine? All these people are saying that Palestine has been bombed from 1948 to today. Palestine is still being bombed. Why is it that the Arab nations are not coming together? They are not congregating together for them to support the Palestinians. Why are they not supporting the Palestinians? The reason is very simple. You see, as we're talking about ego and these spheres of influence, Saudi Arabia, that is where the Prophet of Islam was born. And Saudi Arabia sees themselves as those who gave birth to Islam. So Saudi Arabia are not ready to and for any other Arab nation to measure arm with their influence. So when the Muslim Brotherhood was born, the Muslim Brotherhood was challenging Saudi Arabia. The Muslim Brotherhood believed that even though the Saudis were the leaders of Islam where the Prophet was born, the Saudis have compromised with the pan-Arab nature. The Muslim Brotherhood believe that Saudi Arabia has no right to host to get an American base in Saudi Arabia. They don't believe that Saudi Arabia should open their arms to European nations. So Saudi Arabia saw the Muslim Brotherhood as a threat to them. And the Palestinians, they are more aligned to the Saudis, to the Muslim Brotherhood than the Saudis. So the Saudi, everybody in Palestine will die today. Saudi Arabia will never, they will just condemn it. We are condemning it in our strongest term. They will condemn it in the strongest term. Now, ask yourself one question. When the revolution started in Libya, 2011, when Gaddafi was heading to Benghazi, the Arab League has an emergency session and call on the United Nations to hastily impose a no-fly zone against Gaddafi and Libya. Why are they doing it? They say Gaddafi was killing human beings, destroying humanity in Libya. And Gaddafi was at the edge of Benghazi to go and destroy them. How many people die in Libya compared to Palestine? Why is the Arab League not triggering that Article 7 of the United Nations Convention? The United Nations Charter, Article 7. Why are they not triggering for the bloodbath that is taking place in Israel, in Palestine today? Today, Palestinians they are no value. They have no value. Then you ask yourself the question, why is it that the entire Middle East conflict, especially the Palestinian struggle, it took South Africa, which is a predominantly Christian nation, to take Israel to court. But the Arab League fold their hands. Turkey will condemn. Egypt will condemn. Israel, Saudi Arabia will condemn. The only country that stood for the Palestine are the Iranians. And the Iranians, they are not Arabs. The Iranians, they are Persians. So these are the dynamics.
Aside everything you have said, we want to know that are there some set of Muslims that are giving their support to the Palestinians?
Exactly. You see, the Palestinians, they have the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood, they even though they are Sunnis, but the Muslim Brotherhood supported the Palestinian struggle. And now the Americans and the West, they says that the Palestinians problem was coming. So there was a solution, a rapid solution coming closer to the Palestinian problem when the Muslim Brotherhood elected the first president in Egypt, Mohamed Morsi. Mohamed Morsi, when he became president of Egypt, he sent his interior minister to Palestine. By then, Israel was having a conflict with Palestine, and he was telling the Israelis that this time around, you won't get it easy. We will do everything possible to defend the Palestinians. The Saudi Arabia and American manipulated the governance of the Muslim Brotherhood and overthrew the government of the Muslim Brotherhood and crushed the Muslim Brotherhood. When the Saudis crushed the Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Sisi came to power. The military took power in Egypt. When the military took power in Egypt, they went against the Palestinians. Then the Palestinian struggle came back to square one. It was Iran that was supporting all those militants in Palestine. And I want people to look at Palestine beyond Hamas. I want people to look at Palestine beyond Islamic Jihad. I want people to look at Palestine beyond all the militants that they have there. I want them to look at Palestinians as human beings created by God, have the right to live in a state of their own. Because Hamas is a youth organization. Hamas, they call them, Hamas in Arabic means zeal. They are being branded terrorists by Western nations. All those groups there, what I saw them doing is no different from what Mandela was doing in South Africa, fighting for self-determination. For me, that entire conflict, the way I look at it, is a conflict that shows partiality in humanity. It's a conflict that makes people to look like these people are inferior and these people are superior. And the only set of Arab that stood with them and the set of Muslims, they were the Muslim Brotherhood that are being crushed in Egypt and the Iranians.
Okay, so I am learning from your submission currently that that when you look at things carefully, there are divisions among the Islamic group.
Islam has the division in Islam is both politics and it's both doctrinal. Now let me explain to you. When the Prophet Muhammad died on the 8th of June AD 632, his corpse was lying down. That was when the first division of Islam happened. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, when he started his ministry, the first person that accepted him was a merchant, a businessman called Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr accepted the Prophet even though he was an illiterate and an orphan. So he subscribed, he was his first apostle. He spent his money and invested in the ministry of the Prophet. So when the Prophet died, the Sunni, the Arabs in Mecca, they said the Prophet was unable to appoint a successor. He was sick and death took him. So it's not like Jesus Christ where we know the chief apostle is Peter. So when the Holy Spirit came at the upper room, Peter opened his mouth. So we know the successor. And even when they were alive, when Jesus was alive, he said, upon this rock. So when Jesus went to heaven, there was no power struggle when you come to the apostolic era. But when you come to the Islamic faith, the Prophet Muhammad did not appoint a successor. So division came. Then one of his apostles was his cousin and his son-in-law. And one of his other apostles was his first follower and his father-in-law. So those who are in Saudi Arabia and Mecca, they said, we are not coming to look. This is not a family heritage. Somebody supported Muhammad. He gave his money. He went with him in exile, and he gave his daughter to him. That person need to take over. Then there is another school of thought that say, hey, the man has a family. The man has his cousin. He was even the commander-in-chief of the armed forces when they were fighting the battle. So he's supposed to take over. So those who said Abu Bakr should take over, they are the one that they call Sunni. They are the one that's in Saudi Arabia. Those who said Ali, you should take over, they are the one that they call Shia. They are in Iran. They said the Prophet has an in-law, he has his cousin Then this cousin, he gave his loveliest daughter, Fatmata Bintu. He gave Fatmata Bintu Rasulullah. So the division of Islam started when the Prophet Muhammad gave his last breath. Then between that division now, here comes proxy. So all those who are aligned, who are not aligned to the Saudi monarchy. If you have a government in the Middle East now, you are not subscribed to Saudi Arabia, they will support a rebellion to bring down your regime. You have to subscribe to the Saudi Arabia. Then Saudi Arabia now saw Iran after the Islamic Revolution in 1979, that brought in Ayatollah Khomeini. And Iran became very powerful in the Middle East. So Saudi Arabia and Iran, they have become the major rival. Yeah. So I'm telling you today, every bomb that any country bomb Iran, whatever you see Saudi Arabia do in their press conference, the hypocrites. The Saudi don't want Iran to succeed at all. They believe that Iran had the Saudi and their proxy. They even went to Obama to tell Obama that the Americans should not sit down for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Iran should not be that powerful because Saudi Arabia and Iran, they feel threatened. They have that rivalry. Saudi Arabia have already succeeded in destroying their Sunni brother that they call the Muslim Brotherhood. So their only threat now is Iran. But how can you get Iran? The people who are in Iran, the Persians, they have majority too in Iraq. And then they have another group in Lebanon. These are the people that you see they call Hezbollah. When you go to Yemen, they have the Ansarullah, the Houthis. They are all octopuses of Iran. So when you look at the Middle East, that's why we are saying that it is religious, but it is more of politics and influence peddling.
So I mean, before we draw the curtains on the show for today on this podcast, after the records have been set straight.
Yes, we are setting the record straight.
Yes. So we want to ask finally. Do you seem to say that there is a major crack in Islam?
Yes, there is a major crack in Islam. At times when you see Muslims talking to us, they will say Christians, they are divided. They have the Old Testament, they have the New Testament, some are Jehovah, but please, when you enter the Islamic doctrine well, right now in Ghana, let's just use Ghana as an example. The chief imam, Shaributu, is the head of the Sunni here, but he does not control the Ahmadiyya. Ahmadiyya mission is different from them. So if they are one, as they are claiming that Christianity is fragmented and they are one, why is the Ahmadiyya different from the Sunni? And first of all, the Ahmadiyya has been branded as an apostasy. There are some places where Ahmadiyya goes, they have to kill. There is nowhere in the Christian faith where any denomination, how obnoxious as that denomination is, that denomination will not be tagged for death. But Ahmadiyyas are being killed even in Pakistan. Decrees have been passed for people that are Shiite and people that are Ahmadis. They have been passed for them to be killed in Islamic nations. So the crack and the theological differences in Islam is far major than in Christianity, because there are just watch them. You will see some people, their hijab is covered there. Some people, you only see the eye. Some people, they don't greet each other. They don't shake a woman. Some people don't eat this. Some people don't eat that. Some don't marry to this. Some don't marry to that. Even when it comes to marriages. So the Islam is just a very complex religion. And the worst in the whole thing that is happening, the West is exploiting the Islamic divisions. So now look at this. If you say all the Muslims, they are one, all the Muslims, they love each other. Now look at the war in Iraq. All the American bases, the bases that America used to topple Saddam, to remove Saddam, those bases were the headquarters where the commander of the US troops, Tommy Frank, he was in Bahrain. The majority of the troops drove from Kuwait. All the major launchers, the submarine launchers were launched from Egypt. As I'm saying that Jordan has the American base. Now America have even installed a base in Iraq. And when Gaddafi was to be removed, that one, when Africans are saying that the people come, they kill Gaddafi, I said no. The Arab League were the first to sell Gaddafi. They passed a resolution for Gaddafi to be removed. From there, the African Union, the 3 African Union countries at the United Nations, Gabon, Nigeria, South Africa, they voted for the no-fly zone. And when the no-fly zone was erected, that was the end of Gaddafi. So the crack, we are just visible. That is why we are here to set the record straight.
So the record has been set straight. My name is Reverend Christopher Ableto, and the records were set straight by my own brother, Gabriel Ishmael Jallo.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
I have learned many things myself because I didn't know much about Islam as much as he has educated me. I hope that you were also educated.
Yeah.
Share your comments, share your opinion. There are things you also know that has not been mentioned.
Sure.
You also share them in the comment section. There are things that you have also learned. Share to encourage the one who is running the podcast. Share so that this podcast will go far. It will reach many people. We are looking forward to hear from you. We are looking forward to see your comment. We'll respond to them appropriately. Thank you for joining us.
You have to subscribe so that when records are set straight, the agendas will be very, very remarkable.